What it is, you guys, it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice, to see justice before all fates to bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Okay, guys. Anyways, I'm coming through September the 2nd, 2025. It is now after work. Thank God. It's like almost 6:30. But I was trying to get in a little story time before work and didn't have the time, so I squeezed it in there. So I did a couple of little parts. Yeah, I was meaning to only do one part before, but the phone stopped itself because it was on the charger and it stopped. So I just picked back up from there, and then I said I'll finish the rest of it after I get off work. If I were editing, then of course this wouldn't have been 3 short videos. It would have been like a 15-minute longer video just of that story time. But girl, right now we getting it in how we fitting it in. So anyways, where I left off in the last part, and when I get the chance I'll link the other 2 parts in the description box. But I had did my hair and, well, really just rebraid the front of my locks, right? And then I had got out to the Kim concert. Now, Kim concert was at Hard Rock. I did upload a couple of the videos. Girl, I bought it last minute because me and my daughter were talking about going to Kim. She likes old school music, because you already know your girl old school Cadillac. Like, I was so in love with music, like for real. And she grew up listening to all the stuff I was listening to and the artists, and I love neo soul, and I was a spoken word poet and all of that, so that's my flavor, whatever. So of course I was like, I haven't been to a concert in a while, so let's go head on and go. So when I heard about it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. But then I quickly, things get away from you. And I'm like, I kept remembering, I'm like, am I going to buy the Kim tickets? And then I'll be like, no, not now. And then something had told me to check it a couple of days ago. And when I checked, I think it was Thursday, that it was the 31st, I'm sorry. It was on August 31st. And I'm like, that's literally in a couple days. So that Friday, I ran and I bought the tickets before I had to go into work. I had went to the Hard Rock ticket booth, bought my tickets, and then we ended up, I had to work that night. I got off. I came home. It was Saturday morning. So, oh yeah, that's when I ended up going out to my to see my friend before she left, and went out of town. And then the concert was to start directly like after that. So I just changed clothes and ran on. We seen the concert. The concert was good. But the one thing, like, okay, like when I went to go see Maxwell, what song you think I was waiting on? I was waiting on A Woman's Work. That was the first song that Marcello dedicated to me once he went up the road, right? There's other songs that he dedicated to me, but that one was the first that he dedicated through letter. This is when we were able to write real letters, and he also was able to draw on the envelopes. So he would have these nice, beautiful envelopes and a nice, beautiful letter or whatever. And that was the song. Do you know that Maxwell did not perform that song? I waited, and he didn't perform the song. Well, the same thing with Kim. The song that I love from Kim is that I think about the day I met the perfect stranger. I think about us. And I think about the day it got wrapped around your finger. I think about us. Y'all know how you say it. No, gosh, that is my song. Like that song, they got that emotion because that really make you think about that person you love, like for real. And that was one of them songs that made me, while my man's was up the road, I would literally think about him to that song. He didn't perform it. Well, I don't think he performed it because for me that was my favorite of all time Kim songs. But we were kind of late because the concert was held at the House of Blues. I'm sorry, not House of Blues. Hard Rock Live at Universal, right? So, but Universal was also doing a it's called Halloween Horror Night. So the parking lot was packed for the Halloween Horror Night, and the concert goers could not find any parks. We couldn't find no park. We circled and circled, and then the way the parking lot is set up, once you go around, if there's no parks on that floor, you can't proceed to the next floor up. You have to exit the garage, go back around from the street, and come back in. By the time we finally found a park, did all that walking, because that's why it's called City Walk, walked around the lake and got to the Hard Rock. When we got up the stairs into the little metal detectors, I walk around the metal detectors. Anytime I say metal detectors, it reminds me of that lyric. But anyways, he was already singing. I'm like, the show was supposed to be, okay, the doors were supposed to be at 7, but I forgot that they had that dual, like, event. 2 events at the same place. So if it was a regular night, of course we could have got in there because I knew we had assigned seats or whatever. But because it wasn't a regular night, we couldn't find a part. So we missed when he first jumped on stage. But we were kind of asking around, and everyone was like, no, he didn't perform that. He didn't perform that. So it was good. He ended like maybe 10:30ish, got home. I actually did go to bed. I didn't try to stay up all night. And I had Viso the next morning. So that's why I couldn't really stay up, because Viso and, Mr. Marcello got sent back up the road. Like I said, up the road again. You could change that to several different songs. But anyways, or like I said, up the creek without a paddle. Like literally. So Marcello got sent back up the road. So he's about 2 hours away from the house. So I knew I had to get up earlier so that I do not end up missing. Getting up too late so that we're late and ended up getting caught in count, and then we missed most of the visitation. So I ended up getting up. My plan was to leave at 7 a.m. So this is Viso Vlogs. This is Viso. Viso is prison slang for visitation. So these are Viso vlogs where I'm just telling the story time of our visitation. So I ended up getting up at 5. I had several alarms set, but I could not get off that bed, girl. So I think I finally got up at 5:30, and then I took the longest shower ever because my shoulder's still going to bed. I'm still hurting, so I'm just standing under that hot water. I'm sleepy when I don't get that much sleep. So if I got up at 5, I got maybe 4 hours of sleep, which I used to do this on the regular back in the day, but your girl getting a little too old for that. So when I run myself thin like that, I really feel it now. So I got up. I really didn't have anything to wear, and I was really supposed to find my daughter something. Now, when my daughter is trying to find something to wear to Visitation, the generation now, things are not baggy. So it's hard to find her pants that they won't complain about, because they'll turn you away for everything. And it's also sometimes, like, if you're a prison wife, prison wives, it's nothing that is just specific and equal. It's all shades of gray of the dress code, right? This one might be let in and that one might not. That one might have something worse on than this one, but they let that one in and not this one. Or they'll say, oh, that's too tight, and you'll completely see somebody that's almost wearing spandex get in. So my prison wives know what's up with that. So I don't like to get up there, and then they gonna always lead you to the nearest Walmart. Oh, there's a Walmart this way. There's always a Walmart somewhere by the prisons. So, and if there's nothing else, it's that or a Dollar General, but I don't know if you can always find clothes there. So to avoid that, usually a prison wife will keep several different articles of clothing in their trunks. Like literally, when I used to visit all the time at late, we would like interchange clothes. Like if you didn't get in, see, did somebody have a shirt? Do you have a change of this? Do you have a change of that? Do you have a jacket I can throw over this? And we would kind of work together because we already knew how this ish is, like the fiery hoops you got to jump through to get to see your loved one, right? So I was really supposed to have my daughter something out too, because I'm like, let me just find you something. I give her some of my older clothes to wear because I'm bigger than she is. So of course, if it's baggy, they gonna let her in with it. So I was planning on wearing my black sheet dress. It's a one-piece dress. It has a V-neck, but it's made like a t-shirt V-neck. It's very long. It has a split, but the split don't come up to mid, but to mid like thigh. Not mid thigh. They'll never let that in. Mid calf. And it is baggy, but to me, I think it's cute. You throw some sandals on with it and you good to go. So I offered that to my daughter because I have found some jogging pants, but she had 3 different pairs of jogging pants and they all fit kind of tight on her rump. So I'm like, I know they're gonna turn her away. And she'll always, I can't find nothing else. I don't have nothing else. They just no, they don't understand. So ain't no need of saying, they just gonna have to understand. We don't want to go up there just to hear them say, no, you can't get in. So she went on and wore the baggy dress of mine. And then I had to find me something else because that's what I was planning on wearing. And I was going to give her those little jogging pants, but they couldn't fit. So I ended up finding I have a regular plain black, it's somewhat pleated skirt. And then I had a black t-shirt. Now, I think they were kind of see-through a little bit, depending on how you stand in the light, because you'll think you're good, but then you stand under either the natural light or a different type of setting light, and they can see through it, and then they'll say, no, you can't come in. So I just ended up putting on another skirt up under there because I didn't have a slip or nothing. So I put, it was a little sheet skirt, like flat skirt. So I basically wore two skirts, but then I'm like, this V-neck keep falling down a little too low, and then they'll say, oh, you can't wear that because it's too revealing and this and that. So I put another shirt under that. So I just wore 2 skirts, 2 shirts, girl. And then I found my little sandal, they were actually heels. I ain't put on heels in a million trillion years. So girl, I probably was walking like I don't know what in them heels. But I had my little heels, and I just put my locks up into a ponytail, and it's time to go. Let's go. So I kept trying to wake Money up. Money did not want to get up. The babies, because when we picked them up from the concert, them up after the concert, they did not want to go to sleep. So they kept just kicking her all night. So she didn't get a lot of sleep. But I was the designated driver anyway, girl. So you could just get ready real quick and get the kids ready and then just get in the car and go to sleep. The shorts do show how everybody was so tired. Like, we barely could move. But I know that if we kept playing around, we wouldn't be able to visit. Now, the reason everybody was able to go and the reason I went now was because Money, our daughter, cannot always go to visit her dad. She has her own life now. She has kids. She has school. She's in nursing school. She also has a job or whatever. So she cannot visit like that. So Monday ended up being whenever there is a holiday, they do visitations. So it was Labor Day. So they would let them visit on Labor Day. So this was actually a 3-day visitation. Oh, reminder to all of those that still have to put in the Viso forms, especially if you're in Florida. By Monday being a holiday, it throws you off because that's when they open up the visitation forms, right? They open up the visitation forms on Monday, but Monday you might have been visiting and you don't really think about, oh yeah, if I want to visit this weekend coming up. You literally only got till tomorrow. So you lost Monday if you didn't put your visitation form in. You lost Tuesday, which is today, because it's after 5 o'clock. Oh wait, no, you can still put it in. It's tomorrow after 5 o'clock that you can't put it in. So if you got time, go on and put it in now, and you got until tomorrow 5 o'clock sharp. Like, even if you're in the middle of putting that thing in, it will cut off on you. But yeah, you tend to forget because the holiday actually kind of throws you off. So it was a 3-day weekend, which that Monday visitation was attached to the form you would have put in last week. So it was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that they were visiting. Maybe I need to make a video telling when the I don't know, but in Florida DLC, when the extra visitation days fall, so that we could stay on top of it. That would be something good to do, that caters to my prison wives, girl. So we got ready quickly, and I had not really asked my dad to borrow his car yet, and he does not like last minute things, but I had been gone, like running from birthday party to gatherings to a concert. It was just so much going on back to back to back to back, and it really was no rest. And I had a 3-day weekend, but I did not stop for one moment. Crazy. Like 3 days off from work, but it didn't even feel like I had one day. So I asked him that morning if I could borrow his car. I know he was hesitant, but he was like, just clean it back out and fill it back up. So, because my car going to bed, my brakes are not good. I think my brakes are about to, I need brake pads or something. And my car is just, I don't know. And it's an older car, so I really don't want to take it up 2 hours away from the house. I don't want to get on no highways with my car like that. Basically just use my car to get from here to home and stuff like that. So he says, yeah, we go ahead, and if not, we was going to have to use Money car. Now, Money always had every excuse of why we can't use her car. Girl, tell me why she got the newest car, but we always drive my hoopty. Girl, that's crazy. But so we all got ready, and I think we got my target time to leave, because I have everything strategically planned in my head. We got to get out by 7 or 7:30 at the latest. 2 hours drive. We'll get there at 9:30. It's not crowded, so we should get in by 9:30, 10 o'clock. Okay, So we didn't really get out until 8. Then the idea was for us to all eat before getting there, because if you've seen that video I have, if I get the chance, I can link it, that cashless is a cash out. The new fresh food vending machines, they're very expensive. It's strategically making you pay more at Visitation. So we were gonna just eat before like we get on the road, so we're not really hungry like that, and needing to eat the overpriced food. I know Martello likes to eat with the kids, and then I also like to let him eat, so we'll just have enough for him to get his couple sandwiches or burrito or whatever he gets, and then a snack that the kids can eat, because you know that little baby grandbabies, they is not gonna let you set up and eat nothing in front of them, right? So we get there, I'm sorry, no, so 8 o'clock we leave, but we get to the restaurant. We bought breakfast. The kids, my daughter had them, we ended up getting the big breakfast from McDonald's with the hot cakes. I had my own big breakfast. The kids shared a big breakfast, and our daughter had some McGriddles or something like that. So we had ended up eating. We were good, and then after you eat, you already know I was going to bed. Like everybody in the car, and I think I did a short of that too. Everybody was knocked out, like for real. And I started feeling so sleepy. I ended up getting an energy drink. No, I did not have energy drink at first. I had a cup of coffee from McDonald's, but the coffee was not affecting me in no type of way. I was still really, really tired. So I don't play with the road like that. There have been times, I remember Marcello telling me one time that his homeboy, his people was coming from Visitation, and they ended up getting into a wreck, you know, because they were too tired, just from trying to get up and down the road. That is one of the things we have to deal with as a prison wife, like having these busy lives, because prison wife life can't take up your whole life. You have all these other aspects you have to do and be. You can't just sit up and just be his prison wife. Like literally, that's only one little aspect, one little corner of your life. So you're cramming and that it takes a lot of time to be a prison wife. So you're cramming that into an already hectic life, right? And we tend to not get as much sleep as we need to begin on a roll. Girl, I need to do a whole video about that. All the times that the crazy things I had to go through just to get the Visitation. Like that would be a good video, actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna write that in my journal. But see, the people that run all of this don't care. They don't care about that. The stress that it puts on the family, you know, incarceration and stuff like that. And I know most watching don't care, because they're gonna give me that same old excuse. Well, your son I never did what you did, and don't do the crime if you can't do the time. But my husband's wrongfully incarcerated, so. But I guess you group me in too, right? You group everyone in all together. Everyone should suffer, and everyone should be, you know, mistreated allegedly, and I don't know. And every prison wife's journey should be made extra hard because their husband shouldn't have did what they did. That doesn't even make logical sense, but they don't want to hear it. So I'm not here for them. I'm here for the prison wives, and those here for wrongful convictions, and those here for reform, right? But yeah, so I got really, really, really sleepy. I don't play on the road, so the minute I felt like I knew that coffee wasn't waking me up, I was listening to Joe Osteen. He would put me straight to bed. I was going to bed. So I said, you know what? I wasn't literally going to bed, not for real, but I'm just saying I was really tired and it wasn't waking me up. My phone couldn't connect to my YouTube peoples I'd be watching, because I would have watched Taylor House Publishing, breaking news coverage, give you the news before the judge discover it. I don't even know the words like that, but I would have been riding out listening to him because that's who I used to listen to all the time when he was at the Central Florida Reception Center. But that was like only 30 minutes drive, but I'll be listening to his videos then. But my thing would not connect to the Bluetooth in my dad's car, so I was falling asleep. So I said I better pull over. I pulled over at a gas station that really could be dangerous for prison wives. Pulling over, you're tired, you just need a couple minutes sleep, but I don't know, but God kept us. But I try not to stop. I try to stop at those big, and then also going in them country pumpkin woods. Like literally, you got to be careful where you stop there too, or you just got to stop, fill up, and go. Girl, if you know, then you know. Like for real. But I tend to stop at the big chains, like a racetrack. There's a racetrack. That's a big gas station. I don't know why, but I just feel more safer like at those big chains. Or there's one called Love's. I'll stop there or something like that. So I pulled over. I set my alarm. I set several just in case I ain't hear the first one, for just a 10-minute nap. A 10-minute nap is going to rejuvenate me. So I did that, went to the restroom, took our granddaughter to the restroom, and I ended up buying an energy drink because I was like, I wasn't even an hour into the drive. It's a 2-hour drive. And I wasn't even an hour in, and I was like, I cannot do this. And Money, she definitely didn't get sleep, so she couldn't do it. So I'm like, and I didn't want to pull over because I'm like, we're losing time. We're going to get there later, and then it could interfere with count. But you got to do what is more safe, because it's not just my life. It's not just our daughter's life. It's our grandchildren's life. Like everybody's life is in my hand as I'm behind that wheel. So I got to do what is best for everyone, right? So it was best to get me a few minutes of sleep. And then I went and got an energy drink, which is a little bit more boost. Now, I don't drink a full energy drink because, girl, this is a side note. Sorry, Cadillac, get off track. But I had an issue with energy drinks back in the early 2000s. I think it was like 2008 or 2009. I went to a Q-Tip concert. I was working overnight at Walmart, and I started drinking coffee to stay up. I would see everybody in the break room with their coffee. I had to keep our daughter all day because they took my husband out the household. I had to go to school. I went to hair school in the evening, and then I worked all night. So you tell me when I slept. Like, girl, that story there is way too much. So when the coffee wouldn't really keep me woke, it was this new thing people were talking about, energy drinks. And I'm like, okay, let me try it, because they were saying that it's all natural, just as much caffeine as a cup of coffee and this and that. So I started drinking energy drinks, and it got to the point where I was drinking like an energy drink a day to just keep going. And then sometimes I would drink 2 a day. And Marcella tells me all the time about the guards themselves. They drink a lot of energy drinks because they're working these long shifts, and they're doing mandatory overtime. And I think it's already 12-hour shifts that they do work. And then sometimes they have to do overtime. And he would always tell me about this one guard that had the energy drink, and then he had a HERTAT. You know what I'm saying, whatever, because I don't know if I can say that, because it's getting so, you know, you don't even know what you can say, girl. But he had that from an energy drink. So anytime Marcello hears that I had an energy drink, he's like, oh. But that day, that was around the time that they came out with these 5-hour energy shots. And I started to drink them, the whole bottle. Drink the shot, and they were to kick in faster than an energy drink. Well, I drank that. I was getting ready. It was a Project Reach the World Q-tip. I did not get it to him, but I painted a t-shirt of him, had a hairpiece made of CDs and stuff like that, and I was going to get his attention. Oh my gosh, I love Q-tip's Prison Song. If my prison wife, y'all ain't never seen that movie, Prison Song, that movie was my movie. Oh my God. I think I'm going to say that's my favorite overall prison movie. But I wrote in how much that movie just inspired me and stuff like that. And the fact that he was an artist, me too, right? But before I went, I had drunk the little energy shot. I was washing the dishes and my hands was doing like this. And I'm like, and I could not stop my hands from shaking. And I dropped the dish that was in my hand. And after that, I went to the concert, but it felt like my head was going to explode. My head hurted so bad. And I thought it was because maybe my hair was too tight with the hairpiece, but my headache would not go away. I went to the doctor, and that's when they were saying that my blood pressure was extremely high. And he was like, no energy drinks. And only 1 cup of coffee, plain coffee a day. So every now and then, like when I'm on the road and got to stay up, or it was sometimes when I was in college, when I had a project due and I had to stay up, that I would do the little energy drink. But I did not drink the whole can. I would drink like that much out the can, just give me a little kick. If it was the 5-hour shot, which I really stopped those altogether, I would just take a sip. I would not down that whole thing, right? So that's one of the things I went through behind being a prison wife. Like, I could not sleep. I got no sleep. And when I was awake, I wasn't never fully awake, which means when I was parenting, I wasn't fully awake parent. I remember taking our daughter on a field trip, and I slept on the whole on the bus the whole way. How was I a chaperone? Like, what was I chaperoning in my sleep? But all she remembers is that my mama came, so she was so excited. But those are the residuals of being a prison wife, the things I had to go through that really shouldn't have had to go through, right? But anyway, so that was all a detour just to tell you about them energy drinks and my history with them. So I try to avoid them, but I'm not finna try to operate a vehicle. And also, what's crazy, y'all know my shoulder, I messed up my shoulder with my nephew, so I couldn't not take my muscle relaxers. I'm already sleepy, but then you can't operate the vehicle with the muscle relaxers, and then the road makes you even more tired. So it was so crazy. So I couldn't take my muscle relaxers, but I was able to take the pain medicine. And girl, it's starting to feel better because I want to wean myself off of the medicines. I am not a medicine person, so I do not really like taking medicines like that. I only do it when it's very, very necessary. I love how that sounds. Very, very necessary. But yeah, so after that I was woke and I was able to drive the rest of the way to Visitation. Soon you see all the cows, and then you see this big, huge open field, and then you see prisoners at work, the sign, and then boom, we're finally here. Yes. So we arrived at Visitation, and it was like 10 something. The parking lot was not packed because, like I said, this is a small camp that he's in. Is actually a camp that's behind a big camp. It is behind the maximum security prison. I don't know why, but they just had camps back there, and they just opened this one up. So we got there, And it took a little minute for them to bring Marcello out. I did notice that this time they started something new where they take your ID and they give you back a like a little badge thing. I was visitor 19. That tells you how small it was. And Money was visitor 18. So we checked in. Now the thing was, like, when you're a prison wife, there is no rhyme or reason to any of the things that they do, and it's no equality. What they'll do for one, they won't do for the other. They'll turn one away when they'll accept another, so you don't know what you're in for, right? So some people strictly enforce, like one random day they was like, do you have the email confirmation and to get into visitation? And I'm like, huh? Like, I don't check my emails. My email actually now is full. Ain't took the time to sit down and actually go through it. So if they did send me a confirmation email, I don't have it because it would have got rejected, because now my email is full until I can find the time. Like, when is the time? Yeah, but until I can find the time to clear out my, like I said, everything in my life is cluttered. It's too much stacking up. So I asked my daughter to check, did she get the confirmation code? And she was like, it's nothing there. The only thing that keeps popping up is that it's an automatic message saying that they'll send you a message if you're approved. So that's all we had. So we didn't necessarily know, and it could have been that we drove up there and they said, no, you don't have a confirmation, y'all can't visit. So when I walked up to the front, but I did say a prayer before I went up on that road, that we would not drive that far for no reason. That would have been crazy. That would have been irritating, but it has happened to me. I have drove 7 hours and had to drive back home. It has happened for several different reasons. It's happened, but I was just hoping it did not happen this time. So I walk up and we're nervous because we're thinking something. You always feel like something is wrong because that's just how it usually always is, something wrong. They do too much sometimes. So they took the ID, took the kids thing, but she paused for a while and she kept flipping. And I'm like, she must don't see his name on that list, because they have a list of everybody they expect to come. So she's flipping. Like, God dog, how many pages you gotta flip? And it looked like she was to the back of the thing. And I was about to say, oh, Lord. She gonna tell us that we not on that list, girl. But she ended up handing us the little thing instead of our IDs, so we knew we were good. Then it was like, just wait out there, someone's gonna let you in the gate. So that's what we did. We got in, and I am actually, this is getting way too long. I am way too long-winded. Sorry. So I am going to have to finish the actual, visitation, because it's almost done. But I don't want this to be, I'm at 38 minutes. I don't want no 40-something minute story time about visitation. All right, guys, sorry about that. I will continue. Hiss your girl Cadillac.